Da, 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 da.
Hi, and welcome to Real Talk for Real Men.
Men.
Today we're going to take an article from the Art of Manliness website, 5 Tips to a Dinner Date. And basically go through them, and then we're going to challenge ourselves and hopefully you to go out and try these. I mean,
Milky Ways.
That
I'm
would
sorry.
make sense.
I just had to throw that in there.
I think we're all familiar with the Art of Manliness, great website. And we're all pretty much familiar with the art of the 5 Tips to Dinner Date article. So the first is she goes first with everything. That's rule number 1. Now that includes
Always.
from getting into the car, getting into the restaurant, taking her jacket off, ordering, unless you're sharing a meal, everything. She's always first. So, I mean,
That should be even outside of a date. I mean, she's
even
always-
outside of a date, but then you got to watch it. You get feminist chicks or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, you're being sexist.
Open the door for her, what?
Yeah, so, I'm an independent woman. I love women. Don't get me wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, but
No comment.
she goes first with everything. I think that's pretty understandable. I don't think that's offensive. I think it's just a way of showing affection.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We care almost.
Almost
So,
like a
You're
resurgence.
thinking about her.
A
So,
resurgence
you
of
have that.
chivalry.
yeah,
Mhm.
basically.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
it's not a way to put someone down. It's a way to show like, I like you. You shouldn't have to hold the door. I should. Have to
It's a
hold the
level of caring, not a level of disrespect, like thinking, oh, I'm going to hold the door because you're not capable of holding the
Yeah.
door
Yeah.
for yourself. It's holding the door because I want
Well,
to
yeah,
show
it's
you
like-
that I care enough about you to open the door.
Like, let me do that for you.
Yeah.
Let me just-
You know, it's the little things. It's the
Yeah.
little things.
So, I don't think that's a big, whatever. All right. So
Number 2,
number 2.
pace yourself.
Yes,
Pace yourself.
it's
You
a
know?
very hard one.
It is hard because
good.
I mean sometimes you get too excited. Sometimes maybe you're
You got a delicious steak
Yeah,
sitting in front of you,
you're
just
like,
like,
oh my God, I love
Like, no,
even with the girl. I mean, you might be really into it. I don't know.
Yeah, so you need to.
floats your boat, but you got to pace yourself. You know,
Always.
Especially if you go to a buffet.
everything in moderation.
Everything in
And you look
moderation.
like a guy like me, where I'm not a tiny individual.
He
I'm going to get some grub.
does not follow number 2.
Yeah, so also, I mean, if you sit there and wolf your meal down
No.
and your date doesn't sit there and wolf her meal down,
Yeah.
you're making her look like an idiot because
Yeah.
you're sitting there like, all right, let's go. Come on, I'm done eating already. It's been a half an hour and I'm done eating. You
But
gotta
if she
finish up soon.
challenges you,
Different
there's
story.
nothing
Different
wrong
story.
with that.
And impressive.
Impressive, very impressive. If a chick can beat you in a food eating contest,
That is impressive.
that's impressive. Just like girls that drive big cars. I'm a fan. Number 3, listen to her. Like we said,
Listen to her.
that kind of goes hand in hand with pace yourself because
Yeah.
you're sitting there like stuffing face
Yeah,
while you're
you
thinking
sit there.
about
I
it.
mean,
It's
you can't talk.
Here's
You know,
here's
you
a
gotta-
little here's a neat little thing. You have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen and watch twice as much as you speak.
Yeah, words of wisdom from the
There
big
you
man,
go.
right? So yeah, if you don't listen, you're never gonna get through it.
There's another thing too. I mean, if you're having a conversation, make sure you ask her. Don't do most of the talking. A refined gentleman tries not to talk about himself.
Yeah,
And if you've ever seen the movie Hitch, great advice in the very beginning. If you listen more than you talk and you don't overpower your date, then when you have a conversation, it's more rich because you're able to respond because you heard what she said.
yes,
So you're able to say if you take her on a walk and she noticed something nice, you're able to elaborate on that. Why did you like it? What was nice about it? This, that, and the other thing. Instead of going, oh, me, I,
We
and
hate
becoming
me
a quote unquote me monster.
yeah.
Don't be that. It doesn't work.
All right, so that's rule number 3. Listen to it. Rule number 4. Look the part. If you're going out, get dressed up, look nice. If she's taking the time, do her hair, put makeup on, and everything.
You should take your time to comb that hair over.
Also,
Comb that hair over here.
however, look the part, but don't get too dressed up.
No.
Because then she always likes to be the one that looks. But, I mean, she does.
She's always
she
she's
has to
always
be-
gonna look
Make it
nice.
She
simple.
has to look nicer. I
Make
mean,
it
she has
simple,
to.
but make it appropriate.
I mean,
Don't overdress to feel like you're in a competition for who looks the best
Exactly.
that night. You want to
Exactly.
make sure all the attention's on her.
Yeah, you. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you want her to look better than you.
She's always gone.
I mean, if it's a surprise date, tell her, on a scale of how dressed up she should be.
yeah.
Just so
Give her
she
a little
knows.
heads up.
Give her, just give her time.
Give her a range.
So that's rule 4. Rule 4, look the part. Don't show up to a nice dinner where she's, went out and got nice and dressed up and you show up in jeans and,
Is that 4.5?
yes,
Okay.
4.5. And like crusty old sneakers. So look nice. Look presentable for your lady, your woman, your girl, your thing, your flower. I don't know, whatever you're going to call it.
Cupcake.
Butterfly.
Cupcake.
Morning bird.
Somebody need a bear hug. All right, so rule number 4.5. I don't know. I didn't write the rules. You pay. This, I think, can be up for debate.
I think this attaches
Definitely.
itself to the early part of the relationship, to show that you're
Chivalry.
that
You
chivalry,
care enough
that
to
you care enough
empty
to-
your
to-
pocket every
yeah,
weekend
right.
to take you
that
out.
you're not stingy. You care enough to take her out to a nice dinner, possibly a movie, and that you're willing to pay for it. I mean, in the professional world, I think that shouldn't be a problem, especially if both people involved have good jobs and have the ability to go out to nice places and do that. I think it should be on the guy to pay for it. But after you establish the relationship and after a while, I think it should become more of a cooperative relationship in terms
Yeah.
of paying for things. But early on,
Definitely
I
in
think
the
it's good.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I mean,
you
at
should,
least go for it.
Right.
At least say like, all right, I'll pay.
Yeah.
I'll pay. I mean, if she argues with it, be like, all right, maybe you could talk it out later. But
maybe
be
she
the
could
one
give the
first.
tip and you pay for the bill.
I mean,
and
no
she
matter
doesn't
what,
tip or something.
don't awkwardly look at the check. Be like,
Like,
how are we gonna do this? Just go for it. I
Yeah,
mean, don't
always
no
go for it.
hesitation. Just
Bite
go
the
for it.
bullet later.
Yeah. So, 4.5. You pay. All right. Rule number 5 is for those of you young gentlemen that are over the age of 21. 2 drinks max. If you're especially if you're driving, you don't want to put yourself or your date at risk. So
Even go so far as to limit yourself to 1 drink if you are driving, just for safety's sake. You don't want to go out and risk being pulled over if you have a mixed drink. You're not really sure what's in it, and you end up getting pulled over, and that embarrasses you, and not only ruins your date, but it could possibly sever any kind of possible relationship you would have that with that particular individual in the future. So,
I think
keep it casual.
I think also sorry.
Oh, God, yeah.
If you don't really know what she might not feel comfortable drinking more than 2 drinks, so you don't want to pressure her like I'm working on number 3 or 4 and she's finishing up 2 and is done for the night. So you don't want to make it seem like you can't go throughout the night without basically like stuffing your face with alcohol. So I think that's something to
And,
elaborate.
I mean, yeah.
and possibly for the beginning or the beginning of this date or the next date, flowers.
Flowers.
Nice
I think that's an
flowers.
unwritten
Nice
rule.
little-
It should
nice
definitely
nice
be
little
there.
touch.
Definitely.
Nice little touch.
Get
Definitely.
flowers. Flowers.
Nothing too crazy. Nice simple flowers.
She said, "Buy me roses, but don't buy red."
Words to live by. When in Rome.
When in
When
Rome,
in
right?
Rome.
So yeah, basically,
After.
Have to.
I think that should be rule number 6. Flowers.
Flowers.
Flowers on the random. Flowers.
That could even go under
Flowers
number 1.
just
She goes first with
because
everything.
just
I mean,
because it's Wednesday.
just because it's Wednesday, you get hump day flowers, right?
hump day.
Hump day because
Hump
Wednesdays
day.
in the middle of the day,
Wednesdays
you're
in
getting
the middle
over
of
the
the
hump. Mind out of the gutters,
Come
gentlemen.
on, guys.
Okay, so just a quick review. Rule
Yeah.
number 1, she goes first. Excuse me,
Ooh.
I apologize.
You're a man. You got to burp. You gotta do
Number 1, she goes first with everything. Number 2, pace yourself. Number 3, listen to her. Number 4, look the part. 4.5, you pay. Number 5, 2 drinks max. And the unwritten rule, number 6, always give flowers. Not always, but
It's a nice little
It's a nice
exclamation.
every
point.
once in a while. I
Nice
mean,
gesture.
don't overdo it. Don't go,
Yeah,
go
do
out and
not
buy
overdo it.
a $75 thing of flowers and hand it to her every time
Especially,
you see her.
don't buy her one every week because then she starts to expect and she takes it for granted, and then it's just the whole thing. Just
every once in a
while.
while,
And
pop
all
a
of a
little
sudden,
flower.
you're regretting buying the flowers. in the first
Exactly,
place,
and you're
you
like,
don't
oh
do
my
it.
god.
Yeah,
Like,
and then you
come
don't get the
on.
flower, and it's like, "Where's my flower?"
Yeah, for
And you're
real.
all like,
You're like, I
"Ah,
thought
the
you
flower."
took it for granted.
Yeah, it's like the middle of December, and you're like, you want me to pick a pine cone? I'll go pick a pine cone. I'll get you a pine cone. Thank you, John Caparola, for that joke.
Yes, thank you. All right, so once again, real talk for real men. I'm Bear,
I'm Jack.
I'm Mike.
and we'll see you next time. Actually, I believe this is a personal challenge. We're all going to try and fulfill this
Yeah.
by our next video, hopefully, maybe. Or
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, we're all gonna try the
We're
finals.
all
I
going
think
to try.
I'm doing it tonight, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
These guys, I got a little work
Hey,
thing up,
all
man.
right.
So while they're on their dinner dates, I'm going to try and find a date, and we'll make that happen. So our next video, or video maybe 1 or 2, I don't know. These guys are a little luckier than I am. We'll find out what happens on our Real Men, Real Talk, Real Talk, Real Men
Real
date,
Talk,
right?
Real Men.
So once again, Real Talk
Da, 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 da.
for Real Men. We'll see you next time.
See ya.